You are 37. The charge hits your account on a Thursday morning. $14.99. You stare at it longer than you should. Not because of the amount. Because you have no idea what it is. You open your banking app. Scroll down. Another one. $9.99. Then another. $27. Then another. Small numbers. Tiny numbers. The kind of numbers nobody worries about. The kind of numbers you've spent your entire adult life ignoring. You close the app. You make coffee. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. A few dollars here. A few dollars there. Nothing worth thinking about. That evening, your phone rings. It's your younger brother. He needs help. Not much. Just enough to get through the month. You transfer the money without hesitation. Then you sit quietly at your kitchen table. And for the first time, a strange thought enters your mind. The most dangerous expense in your life was never the one you worried about. It wasn't rent. It wasn't your car. It wasn't even the mortgage. It was something smaller. Something quieter. Something that followed you for years without ever looking dangerous. You don't know it yet. But that thought is about to change the way you see money forever. Rewind. You are 24. You have your first real job. Your first real paycheck. Your first real sense of freedom. You buy things you've wanted for years. Nothing crazy. A better phone. New clothes. Takeout whenever you feel like it. Streaming subscriptions. Weekend trips. Coffee every morning. It feels harmless. Because each decision is small. Nobody ruins their future with one expensive dinner. Nobody destroys their finances with one online order. That's why you never notice it happening. A friend from work sits across from you at lunch. His name is Tyler. Same age. Same salary. Same starting point. Tyler buys things immediately. New shoes. New watch. New gadgets. Every month there's something. He calls it enjoying life. You agree. Why wouldn't you? You're both making money now. You're both adults. You're both finally free. At least that's what it feels like. 3 years pass. You are 27. The strange thing isn't what you've spent. It's what you don't have. Your salary is higher. Your expenses are higher. Your life looks better. But somehow nothing feels different. Every raise disappears. Every bonus vanishes. Every month ends exactly where the previous one ended. One Friday evening, Tyler pulls into the parking lot with a new SUV. Co-workers gather around. Questions. Compliments. Photos. Everyone notices. You notice too. For a moment, you feel behind. Driving home, your car suddenly feels older. Smaller. Wrong. You open your laptop that night. You start looking. Monthly payments. Interest rates. Financing options. The numbers seem manageable. That's the dangerous part. They always do. You don't know it yet. But the decision you make tonight is worth far more than the vehicle itself. You close the laptop. Not because you're disciplined. Because you're tired. The next morning the feeling is gone. The SUV stays in the parking lot. Your money stays in your account. Nobody notices. That becomes a pattern. Nobody notices when you don't spend money. Nobody congratulates you. Nobody applauds restraint. The world celebrates purchases, not decisions. Years pass. You are 30. A wedding. A hotel ballroom. Round tables. Bright lights. Music. The question eventually finds you. It always does. What have you been up to lately? The people around the table have impressive answers. One bought a house. One started a company. One just returned from Europe. Tyler is there too. He talks about his new kitchen renovation. Everyone listens. Everyone smiles. The conversation reaches you. You pause. You tell them work is going well. Things are fine. Nothing exciting. The moment passes. Nobody asks another question. Driving home that night, something hurts. Not jealousy. Something more uncomfortable. You feel invisible. You spent years making responsible decisions. Years avoiding mistakes. Years building stability. And nobody can see any of it. For a few minutes, you wonder if they were right. Maybe life is meant to be enjoyed now. Maybe you've been too cautious. Maybe you've been saving pieces of your life instead of living it. The doubt stays longer than you expect. That is the hardest part. Not spending money. Believing the quiet path matters when nobody else can see it. You are 32. Tyler isn't doing badly. From the outside, he's doing great. Bigger house. Better car. Vacation photos every summer. His social media looks like proof that he figured something out. Then one Tuesday afternoon, you meet him for coffee. Something feels different. He seems distracted. Tired. Halfway through the conversation, he checks his phone 3 times. Finally, he laughs. Not because anything is funny. Because he's exhausted. You learn more in 30 minutes than you learn from 5 years of photos. The SUV is financed. The renovation is financed. The vacation is financed. The furniture is financed. The life everyone admires is held together by monthly payments. You leave the coffee shop thinking about something strange. The most expensive things in Tyler's life weren't the things he bought. It was the future income he promised a way to keep them. For the first time, you start understanding what the dangerous expense really is. It isn't money. It's flexibility. Every dollar committed today steals options from tomorrow. Every payment becomes a tiny boss. Every obligation becomes another voice saying no. No, you can't quit. No, you can't wait. No, you can't take a risk. No, you can't walk away. And suddenly the danger becomes visible. You are 35. The realization arrives on an ordinary Wednesday. Not during a crisis. Not during a recession. Not after losing your job. During a perfectly normal afternoon. Your manager calls an unexpected meeting. Nobody knows why. The room feels different. People stop joking. Laptops close. Coffee cups sit untouched. Then the announcement comes. Budget cuts. Restructuring. Departments changing. Nobody is losing their job today. But everyone suddenly understands something. Nothing is guaranteed. The meeting ends. People return to their desks. The office sounds the same. Keyboards. Phones. Conversations. Yet everything feels different. Especially for Tyler. You pass his desk. His face is pale. He starts calculating immediately. Mortgage. Car. Credit cards. Renovation loan. Insurance. Payments. Payments. The same lifestyle that looked impressive now looks heavy. You feel worried too. But not in the same way. Because over the years something happened. Every time you avoided an unnecessary expense, you bought something invisible. Time. Every dollar you didn't lock into a payment became future freedom. Nobody noticed. Nobody ever does. You never posted screenshots. Never announced milestones. Never told anyone how much flexibility you were quietly building. From the outside, your life looked ordinary. Inside, it was becoming stronger every year. The strange part is that you still don't feel rich. Your apartment isn't luxurious. Your car isn't exciting. Your clothes aren't expensive. But something has changed. When uncertainty enters the room, panic doesn't arrive with it. And that feeling is worth more than most things people buy. You are 37. The same age you were when the thought first appeared. The mysterious charges. The forgotten subscriptions. The small expenses. Only now you see them differently. Because they were never really about money. The dangerous expense was never the coffee. Never the streaming service. Never the occasional purchase. The dangerous expense was unconsciousness. The habit of saying yes without thinking. The habit of drifting. The habit of letting tiny decisions pile up for years. Most people imagine financial problems arriving dramatically. A failed investment. A market crash. A job loss. Reality is quieter. 1,000 small decisions. Repeated over a decade. That is how most futures are built. One evening you sit at your kitchen window. The city lights flicker outside. Rain taps softly against the glass. Your phone buzzes. A group chat. Someone bought a new car. Photos fill the screen. Congratulations. Fire emojis. Excitement. The same pattern you've watched for years. You smile. Then lock the phone. Not because you're better than anyone. Because the feeling is different now. You no longer need the purchase to feel successful. That need disappeared long ago. You don't know exactly when. Maybe it happened every time you said no. Maybe it happened every time you chose patience over attention. Maybe it happened when you stopped measuring your life against other people's highlights. Whatever the reason, the race feels distant now. Like a game you used to play. Not a game you're still playing. You are 40. A friend invites you to dinner. Halfway through the meal, he asks a question. The kind people only ask when nobody else is listening. How do you always seem so calm? You laugh. Because if he asked 10 years ago, calm is the last word anyone would have used. You used to worry constantly. About promotions. About raises. About keeping up. About falling behind. About what people thought. Now the worries feel smaller. Not gone. Just smaller. You think about answering. About explaining budgets. Investments. Savings rates. Spreadsheets. But none of those are really the answer. The answer is simpler. You stopped buying things you didn't need to impress people who weren't paying attention. That's all. The sentence sounds too simple. Yet almost everything changed after that. You don't say it out loud. You just tell him you've learned to focus on what's important. He nods. The conversation moves on. But you keep thinking about it all the way home. Most people believe expenses take money. The worst expenses take choices. The ability to leave a bad job. The ability to take a risk. The ability to move. The ability to wait. The ability to breathe. Those are the things quietly disappearing every time life becomes overloaded with obligations. And unlike money, they are difficult to replace. You are 43. A recruiter calls unexpectedly. The opportunity is interesting. Better role. Better environment. Different future. Years ago, the decision would have been terrifying. Now it feels simple. Not easy. Simple. You have options. You can negotiate. You can wait. You can walk away. The recruiter doesn't know why. The hiring manager doesn't know why. Nobody knows why. They only see confidence. What they don't see is the decade of invisible decisions underneath it. The purchases you skipped. The payments you avoided. The obligations you never accepted. The flexibility you quietly protected. Confidence often looks like personality. Sometimes it's preparation. You are 46. A Sunday morning. Coffee in hand. The same window. The same quiet. You think about Tyler. You still talk occasionally. He's doing fine. Eventually he figured things out too. Not because he earned more. Because he started paying attention. The expensive part was never the car. It was the years required to support the car. The expensive part was never the renovation. It was the pressure that came with it. The expensive part was never the purchase. It was the future freedom exchanged for it. That trade is invisible when you're making it. Obvious when you're living with it. You finally understand something that took decades to learn. The most dangerous expenses rarely feel dangerous. They feel normal, comfortable, reasonable, small enough to ignore. That's why they work. Nobody ruins their future in a single afternoon. They slowly rent pieces of it away, month after month, year after year, until one day they discover they own less of their life than they thought. And maybe that's the real lesson. The biggest financial mistakes are rarely mathematical. They're emotional. The need to keep up. The need to belong. The need to look successful before becoming successful. Those desires are expensive, not because of what they cost today, because of what they cost tomorrow. The strange thing is that freedom never arrives all at once. Nobody hands it to you. Nobody announces it. Nobody notices it. It grows quietly, decision by decision, year by year. A little less pressure, a few more options, a little more control, until one day you wake up and realize something changed. Not your house, not your car, not your salary. You. You no longer need every paycheck. You no longer fear every unexpected bill. You no longer chase every opportunity out of desperation. You choose. And choice was the thing you were building all along. The most dangerous expense was never what left your bank account. It was anything that slowly took away your ability to choose your own future. Most people spend years protecting their money. Very few spend years protecting their freedom. The ones who do eventually discover something surprising. Money was never the goal. The goal was waking up one day and realizing your life belongs to you. And the moment that happens, the purchases that once looked important become almost impossible to remember. But the freedom they could have cost you? That is something you never forget.